Alright, so we're gonna give this another go. I've already done this once, but when I uploaded the video, everything was great. I was about to press, like, fully upload, etc. And then the checks finished, and it was like, well, you can't do this because you're stinky, and we don't like copyrighted music, so mute, and the entire video got muted. But basically, what this is Summon Kront. This is part of my little summon series thing I'm doing for every character. I'm going through every character, and we are doing summon builds. We have done Averon, I've done Skadi, we have done Maris in the past, but I will be doing another Maris video just for current patch. We've done Loren, so there's just Kront and Nixie, really, that haven't been uploaded. So we'll do the Kront one now. The way this is going to work for Kront is very simple. He has a new chess piece. This is going to be a lot like the Maris version, where you do like dash cast stuff for Maris. For Kront, basically we're utilizing this chess piece to get extra triggers of the sorcerer from summoner, from summon time. Sorry. On top of this, we will be utilizing. I need to go catch my belt. That's why I'm jumping around. We will be utilizing similar summons that we used on other characters. So this means we'll be using stuff like Necromancy. Since we only have the one summon slot, we'll be basically working around using dragons to kill stuff and using colorful burbs to kill stuff at the same time, whilst using other summon gear that you've seen in other videos. This is a little rough, as you can see from the talent tree. When I'm doing these videos, there are ways that you can utilize all this stuff, etc., and like power stuff and stuff, and work that into the summon builds. But when I'm doing builds that are making summons work on each character, I'm trying to build the tree by only taking things that are going to directly impact the effectiveness of summons or our survivability as the characters. So for that example, in this first tree node here, you see we've got the 15% life from tenacity. And then we've got the utility corner. Pretty much every character has a utility corner. It's what I like to call it. This utility corner basically is your dice and your shard pool area. I use this in 90% of builds. There is only a very few handful amount of builds where I don't use it, and those are the builds usually where I'm in melee range constantly. Just because shard pool area is pretty much useless if you're already in range to pick up all those shards constantly. So we get the utility corner, we get some EHP. Then we work down into Pulverize for damage towards bosses and barriers. This is going to be pretty much all the time in D100. Then we take Recklessness to increase our damage dealt by 35%, but increase our damage taken by 10%. And then we have Ravage for dealing more damage towards stunned and frozen enemies. Enemies will be frozen because of colorful gloves here. So against bosses, this is going to be a very nice damage modifier. We put 2 points over here into Renown Master for some master offers. And then Behemoth Heart 4 out of 4 over here for some increased health regen based on our life. This is where the synergy of the EHP and the Behemoth Heart comes into play, along with the fact that Kront can get quite a bit of life just naturally through his gear. We can get even more if we wasn't running this chest, for example. And that's why I just switched off of the Waste, because technically Waste would give more health, which gives more health regen, but it also takes away 0.6 health regen from you, so it ends up putting you only at 0.08. And then up here we had 5 points left over once we did all this in the tree, and really there's nothing else in here that would affect summons. You could technically take Living Legend if you want, but I didn't really want to do that. I don't really like legendaries, but basically we had 5 points left over, didn't know really where to put them, so I just threw them all into Pummel. I don't know if this actually works on bosses, because bosses technically don't have barriers. But if it doesn't work, it's 5 points that we had to put nowhere in the first place. And if it does work, cool, we found 5 points worth of damage up here. And that's the tree, basically. That's everything that can affect summons. We're going to do this in Act 2. We're going to run our usual gear that you saw in the Averon video, where we did the summon Averon, which is the 36% movement speed boots, colorful gloves, Draconite here. Same headpiece as well with duration and damage. Same amulet for damage. The bits that are different, same amulet for damage and attacks. Oh, I just unequipped it. Same amulet for damage and attack speed. It was this one. Same amount for damage and attack speed. Now, obviously, because this is Kront and not Acheron, there are a few pieces that have to change. Instead of using the Onyx Dragon chest piece, we're using this torso here. We don't have a weapon like we had for Acheron when it came to summons, so we're going to instead use this Onyx Dragon axe that we got from the shop as well. And then, obviously, you just watch me put on this belt. Looking at the shop real quick. Just in case it's upgrades. There is not. If you had a weapon like this that then rolled only damage and no attack speed, I would highly recommend using a relic that has some attack speed. It can roll up to 49%. So attack speed is very important for summons. If your summons can scale with attack speed, you definitely want to be running it. Just because picture attack speed as a DPS multiplier. Because the faster they're attacking, the more often they get to do their hits. And it's a very hard stat to actually scale in the run, because there's only one source of it inside Act 2, and that comes from dealing with... Oh wow, this map looks very weird now that the Christmas stuff is gone. Oh, my eyes took a second to adjust. This is coming out on the day that the Christmas patch was removed. So we need to find Time, and we need to find Mort. We will... pray for at least one of those. Okay. Let's just make this quick. Let's end run and start again. Now, this is the unfortunate part. My Kront gear does not have much in this terms of dice. We could solve this by changing these banished dice into... Yeah, let's actually do that just for the sake of this video and consistency. We could run this instead. This is the type of amulet I was saying about. You could run something like this if you had a pure summon damage, but now our summon damage is a little bit lower. That's okay. If we get the summoner stuff going, then we can scale it up pretty fast in the first place. But the reason why summon attack speed is so good is because if we look at the colorful birds here, if you just look at their attack time, and then we remove some of that, it is quite the big impact. Just this 23% was 0.02 attack speed increase for the birds. We do not want Legong. We do want Mort here, though. Necromancy instantly? Cool, we'll take a Necromancy. That is very good. Getting your first blessing to be the summon is very handy, because that means when Time shows up, you have a pretty high chance, or a pretty good chance, I should say, of getting Summoner a lot earlier. Like this. So we got Time. Don't want that, so we'll reroll. We do want these. We'll take Death Resist. Now, much like the Acheron build, we don't have a Divine Shield in this one, though. We can still get more Justice, of course, for our third god. But not having Divine Protection from Acheron's tree does leave us in a sort of scenario where now we actually have to worry about our defenses and our safety. So Justice will be a very nice third god to have. Definitely got to pick up the damage percent on this. Just to be a very nice third god to grab in something like this. So we can utilize Protection, and we can utilize Divine Shield. It's very nice. We still want Vortex to be our dash, though. Vortex just provides you with a lot of safety. Winter's not bad either. But, banish out Tidefield. We'll take Deficits again. Winter's not a bad one to take, because Path of Frost gives you movement speed, but also brings a better way of triggering Kront's damage modifier for frozen enemies, whilst also bringing you Icebound. So it's probably one of the best DPS gods for Kront summons. Crom obviously is a very, very good one to have as your third as well. Cool. We'll take Merciful Attack, just so we can remove the other two attacks. I've said this in a few videos now. Remember, this is bugged. Attack speed does nothing. We'll take Attack here. If you look, we have 0%. If we find enough one, I'll pick it up and showcase it again. But, yeah. Keep going. Now that we have our Necromancy, though, we have a little bit of a downtime here, because we got unfortunate RNG by it giving us the very low density waves. So we want to fill this dead air with shrines, whilst our parrots and dragons and stuff will kill whatever spawns. There we go. This will start ranking up ramping up our necromancy again. Cool. We are going to take damage to enemies with more life. We'll take the novice summoner. So, let's cover this chess piece real quick. Whenever you traverse a certain distance, you have a chance to trigger a random cast you have. The chance for certain skills is diminished. 8% chance at base. Distance moved is 100. What does it mean when it says chance for certain skills is diminished? This means the powerful spells that have very, very long cooldowns. So stuff like Day of Judgment, Inferno, Summoner, Sun and Death, etc. Just those things that have very, very long cooldown. The longer the base cooldown of a cast, the less chance it has to trigger. This doesn't matter if you pick up cooldown. It doesn't matter how much cooldown you pick up. We could get this summoner all the way down to a 20-second cooldown, for example. And it would still be acting as if it was a 60-second cooldown when it comes to the trigger chance, because it goes by the base value of the blessing, not the adjusted value. So this means summoner has a very low chance to proc from this chess piece whenever we move 100 distance. Now this is Death Must Die. What is 100 distance? How do you measure 100 distance? Well, the easiest way to do this in the game is come over to your dash distance. You can see here, our dash distance is 230. This means this is 230. In one dash, we have rolled this twice to see if it'll proc. So, that small distance is how frequent it's going to give us a chance of proccing summoner. So this chess piece is very good despite its low proc chance, just because we're going to move a lot more than that throughout this run. So think about every 2 dashes is 4 chances of summoner getting an extra trigger. The chess piece is affected by luck, so picking up luck shrines and stuff will slowly ramp up the chance to proc it. Although it's not going to adjust it by much. But yes, it's a very, very nice way of trying to measure this is by your dash distance down here. And as you can see, we still haven't had any procs yet. But it's okay. I want to say, just because of like how lenient it is with like the chance to trigger, like only being 100, I want to say it's actually on par with proc frequency as Loren's Flash of Inspiration. I could say it's actually pretty nice. We'll just keep running, look for shrines. We just want to basically power level Necromancy whenever we can. That's why we picked up Execution a second ago, because our next dragon is applying Curse to things it attacks. So, by it applying Curse to whatever it's hitting, it's bringing us the increased drop chance. So we'll be getting quite a bit of experience from this. Now if we quickly check it again. Nope, still haven't had a free proc yet. If it procs at all from the chest piece, then it's already a very good net positive, because chest piece is usually a stat that doesn't give you summon damage. So any summon damage that can come from it is already a net positive. Cool. Yeah, I did this in beta a little bit, not with this chest piece obviously, but on the beta branch when that was up, I did what I called the Disney Princess Kront, which was birds plus frostballs. This was before the procedural patch was shipped. Birds plus frostballs, it was pretty funny, because birds just went insane. We will alter. We will take the rarity up on Summoner, because when you rarity it up, you get a free proc. I guess it's not technically a free proc, because you're trading level for it, but it's, you know what I mean, you trigger it in additional time whenever you change the rarity of it. Dodge this. Now, how can you make this easier? And how can you make this better? It's very simple. Drop 2 points from this, stick it in, oh, sorry, drop the 3 points out of Pummel, put them into a Living Legend, put on Waste, and start picking up the legendaries that appear. In a piece, obviously, survivability, you get access to Pandemonium to try and help you max out your Necromancy and max out your Summoner. You can get, what's it called, Taste of Time to help, like, rot things down. Like, there's a lot of legendaries that could complement this build. Take the Necromancy level for the movement speed. And yeah. All in all, I'm not a fan of the Onyx Dragons. I just like it for the early game because it gives a tiny bit more experience gain, but I think they're actually bugged. Because if you look at the values here, they don't add up. They're meant to be hitting their minimum as 2.9, but when they hit, you can see it's far lower than that. We want Necromancy again. That's why I'm using my alterations. Like you can see there, it was 1,800. Like their lowest roll is meant to be 2,900. So I think the values might be a little bugged, but I'm not sure. Okay, Elemental Archers on any summon build is your biggest enemy. It's just hard for you to rush and deal with them. Like influence. Cool. Pick up this. Necromancy again. If we can get Necromancy to level 10, that'd be very nice. Having a life on kill roll somewhere would be very beneficial to us. I'm going to look for it from a shrine, but I would highly recommend finding it somewhere on your gear. Relic is a very common slot for it if you go summon damage plus life on kill. It's just like we're taking chip damage every now and then from the elemental archers. So having life on kill means once you've dealt with all the elemental archers and you go back to density waves, you'll eventually just heal to full just from clear speeds. Now, luckily, Kront has a pretty lenient amount of health regen thanks to Behemoth Heart, but because it's D100, we are only getting half that value. Alter again. Influence. We're basically now trying to just scale up our summon damage and our necromancy to just go crazy. We want as much damage as possible as early as possible, so that way we can guarantee we could deal with the bosses in the shortest amount of time. Because Insect Queen and the Djinn are obviously like a force to reckon with. Cool. Alter. Necromancy. Once these connect to the boss should just fall over once it gets frozen, especially. There it goes, frozen, and it's in. That's the power of the Ravage coming through from the Kront tree. Gives you a nice damage modifier. I was about to say multiplier, but it's definitely not a multiplier. The way it basically works is when it comes to modifiers, it's done at the end of your damage. So it's like you do all your multipliers, etc. And then once that value is worked out, you then add stuff like War Pact and Ravage, etc. to the end of it. Protection is good. We like protection. Armor just reduces the amount of damage we're going to take. Now bear in mind, we're using Adept Necromancy, so they're only as half as powerful as they really could be. And they're still doing this much work. Kind of snake around with the summons, so you want to have the summons kind of near you, so that way you're like guaranteeing that they're clearing the path for you. Or you still want to be heading towards the shrines to try and get more power. Necromancy again. Like here, I'm going to sneak upwards so they kind of plague towards the cats. Keep distance on the pink enemies because they're the ones that apply weakened. And if they're not pink, I apologize, I am colorblind, but they look pink to me. This is a cool shrine to see. So usually, what I would recommend here is, if you're a newer player, these are all very good, right? If you're not on D100 and you don't have this healing modifier, I definitely highly suggest taking Gain a Life regen, or Gain a Revival and heals fully. Just because having an extra revival helps with like the difficult sections of like Elemental Archers or Insect Queen, etc. But if you're confident with dodging and minimizing the amount of damage you take, gain 4 levels becomes the biggest power gain that you could have from a shrine like this, because it just allows you to just speed level stuff that usually you would okay, I didn't get onto more as I wanted to. It allows you just to speed level stuff. Now if you're playing Skadi with Wanderer, it's even more reason behind taking the 4 levels on that, because you'll get a proc from your Wanderer skill during that. Yeah. Cool. Definitely want to pick up at least 1 point of Vortex when it's next offered. It just helps a lot with like those enemies that are very, very fast at getting on your head. So like the Rocks and the Jackals and the Jeans, etc. But it also is very, very good at helping you deal with the flying carpets and stuff like that, since it allows you to trap them and get your summons to beat them down. I don't like how these projectiles are still happening, so I'm trying to force the summons to go deal with them. See, like here, if we had Vortex, these things would never actually touch us. Necromancy level 8. See a cluster of shrines here. That's nice. Now remember, this is a heal fully, but we have the half the value here, so it's only going to heal us 50%, so I'm going to click it now that I'm at 50% instead of trying to save it for, like, the best value. Dodge this. Eh. Let's see. How many procs have we had? It's not too bad. Necromancy. Obviously, a lot of this to do with the chess piece is RNG, so it's like, on average, it might not give you as much as Flash of Inspiration. But, well, actually, on average, it'll give you as much as like Flash of Inspiration from their end. But you might have some scenarios where it just doesn't succeed for a long time, and then it just feels like it's doing nothing. But yeah. It definitely is a very nice chess piece for something like this. Playing that, you can just stick on Whale of the Desert, gain 200 more life, more health regen, etc. from Behemoth Heart. Cool. Curiosity is definitely nice. We'll definitely take that. Pick up evasion. So this is one of those ways I was just talking about at the start of the run where the density is very, very low. So we're not going to be killing as much to maintain our army. This is why I've been picking up Deathlessness to get it to level 5. Because now our army is going to be lasting nearly 2 minutes. And if they die from Curse, they last even longer. Which obviously the dragon is doing Curse. So some of these skeletons will be lasting this entire wave. Which is going to be very, very helpful for making sure we have the damage to make it through this wave. Because when it comes to these low density waves, they always spawn, like, I want to say mid-tier enemies, where it's like Rock Boys, Jackals, Genies, the ones that just have quite a bit of life and can be quite lethal. Necromancy Expert, even faster Skelly Boys, and even more lifetime, right? No, just speed damage, okay. Dash that. Dodge all this. Now we're back to some density. Now it's been a minute. Waves are traditionally on minute intervals. So every minute, the wave subtype should change. Sometimes you will just get the same wave type over and over. So like you might get 2 sets of like say skeletons back to back. But overall, as you go through the run, you'll notice the waves get harder or easier every minute. So in 30 seconds, for example, we'll probably stop seeing cats, or we'll see a different type of cat. Or we might just get swarmed by, like, genies, etc. That's the beauty of procedural wave generation. I don't know how to plan ahead anymore. But it is still kind of predictable, because you can kind of expect certain enemy types at certain time intervals. So I think in a minute we have a chance to get elemental archers, like about now. Yep. Like this is one of the tougher points of a summon run, is around the 13-minute mark. So utilize the cover. And knowing this as well means you can kind of know how long it's going to last. It will either last 30 seconds, or it will last a full minute. So you'll either have 30 seconds of archers, or a minute of archers. So you kind of just need to be prepared to play very scared for until the next wave threshold comes over. So notice how the archers have, like, not spawned after the 30-second period. Okay, there's one. And then in 10 seconds, the wave type should change. Banish these out. Big vortex. Yeah, so we want to deal with these archers so we don't have them in the next wave wave as well. So obviously we have the boss now. Boss should just die though. Good, good, good. And then the boss wave, I'm not sure how they do them anymore. It used to be in the past that if you kill the boss fast enough, you just deal with skeletons until the next minute interval's over. But sometimes you'll get other stuff thrown in. So I'm not 100% certain how they deal with them now. I think it might still just be skeletons, but it's a pretty good density. So yeah, killing bosses very, very quick is kind of good for your experience in a way, because you'll just have an extra, basically, wave of skeletons. Alright. Then, genies? Oh, jackals, okay. Ugh, flaming archers. These are some of the worst types of elemental archers, because they're just annoying to deal with, and then if they do hit you, they apply weaken. Alright, where's Divine Shield? Oh wait, we have a cast, we can't get Divine Shield. It's awkward. We'll take heal 1 level up though, for safety. Alright, let's just keep our back to this pillar for now. Hope that the necromancy deals with them. On these weakened waves, with these type of archers, it's nice to have a object nearby to block the shots. Just because you can kind of like bait the shots to constantly hit the pillar. Now this only really works if the elemental archers are coming from a single direction. If they're coming from multiple directions, then you kind of just have to try and outrun them and dodge. But you can see, like, we could just pretty much sit here. As long as the skeletons don't kill that archer, we won't have any more spawn during this wave. It'll just be that one. And then we can kill it when the wave interval is over. And we can basically try and skip these elemental archers. Alright, cool. So it's now 16 minutes. Let's go up and get these to kill them. Cool. And now we just have to look out for insect ladies and these slammy boys. This is the type of thing that I was on about when I say Death Must Die is a game of experience. The more you play it, the more you'll understand the mechanics and stuff behind it, including like the wave spawning system and the way it tends to think about things. Once you get the patterns down in a way of like when to expect certain enemies, you can kind of play certain ways around certain time intervals. dodging. If I'm trying to remember correctly now, the next set of really bad times are coming at 18 minutes, and then we have big density at 19 minutes with a few archers in between. So 18 minutes could be still rather horrible, because 18 minutes has a chance of having multiple type of elemental archers inside it, which could just instantly kill me. Bear in mind we have no life on kill right now, so we still have to be careful, because if that happens, we are not looking very pretty. Weaken just makes it so our skeletons take longer to kill stuff if we get affected by it, like you can see above our head here, the weakened debuff, which means these things are going to take a little bit longer to kill, which have a chance to reapply that weaken, and it can have like a snowballing effect on itself. Taking longer to kill means we have a chance to take more damage. Taking more damage, always bad. Alright, let's head up towards this shrine. Okay, it's a little bit of healing. I'm gonna roll. I don't want gem high, so we're gonna try and max out force. Kinda got lucky there that we still had 2 rerolls. I didn't want to have to take it. Cool. Ow. Cool. We will take the hills. Try and offset this a little bit. See, like, we're weakened. Piety again. Having 1 point of retribution in this is also not a bad idea. If you do take, like, any damage, then you're at least going to heal back some of it. It's not much, but, like, any healing is healing, right? You get tagged by the very edge of their hits. Okay. Yeah, we got lucky. Basically, these jackals and assassins could have just been elemental archers. Okay, we are taking way too much damage for what we're doing. Let's see. Always check gear that you're picking up, just in case you have something you can throw on for, like, life on kill suddenly. We do not. Yeah, we do not have any life on kill gear in our bag. It's unfortunate. Oh, yes we do, this headpiece. So what we could do here is basically throw this on now for this wave, get the skeletons and stuff to heal us up a bit, and then switch it back for the boss. Okay, elemental archers at 19. We're looking scared. I utilize the cover. We can kind of do the same thing that we did before. Play around the skeletons, just try not to let anything get close to us. Sneak down for the experience gem. We'll definitely take Reprisal. Reprisal is very nice for stopping stuff like Flamethrower from Jin. If he starts doing it at close range, there's a chance he'll just stun him. I'll have the Jin spawn, so we're going to switch our head back now for the damage. He spawned directly on us. That is not beneficial. Let the skeletons take care of him. Careful. Okay, we're fine. Let's quickly pick up the heart. And yeah, that was Summon Kront. As you can see, it's still a little rough in comparison to like doing like a Meris run or something, but it's definitely doable. Oh, I didn't check Summoner at the end. You can see, it's pretty good. It works out. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the best thing in the world. It's definitely not Meris. It's definitely not Loren. But it can clear D100. You can do it in Act 2, Act 1 as well. This Christmas chest is very nice to definitely utilize if you can. If not, then just use like any chest really with some defensive capabilities. So like my personal suggestions would be something like Whale of the Desert Seas here for extra life and armor. Yes, you lose the expert offers, but as you saw in this run, we didn't get experts anyway, so it's not like it's really doing much for us. But the 200 life is very big for giving us more what's the word? More squishiness and like mitigation, but also more health regen fire with Behemoth. Zaratan is not bad. The damage is nice. The area helps your dragon, and the 20% life is kind of meh, but it'll work out if you're collecting certain type shrines. None of this really matters. You can utilize stuff like these if you have them, like the old Curse of Weakness. I avoid using these quite a bit, like much like legendaries. Things like this are also pretty good. If you have any with triple dice, I think I have one around here somewhere as an example. Like this as well would be very nice to wear. This is also very nice. So basically anything with like defense stats slash life stats would be very, very good for something like this, or even just a chest piece with lots of health for Kront. It's very nice. Let's quickly check the store. Nothing for any upcoming builds, unfortunately. Hey, look, see, right there. You can still get them. Actually, I should buy this. Sell. I should take that, because although it has less health, it is technically a direct upgrade, because it gives us more movement speed, which more movement speed would have helped us a lot with avoiding some of those swipes we were taking. Cool. And yeah, there we go. There's the Summon Kront video. I'm glad those boots actually just appeared whilst I was recording this from the fresh reroll shop, just to show that you can still get items like them. It's just RNG. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.